Okay, hello and welcome to the news. Today we are going to be talking about a lot of sort of things. Number one, a pilot has been killed after a firefighting plane has crashed in Portugal. So Europe is in the process of a heat wave. There's said to be a heat wave in England as well, and yeah, this is oftentimes a bad thing, and this is being shown to be a very bad thing. We have many fires going on because, well, heat does not tend to do that much greater things to an area that is, well, very flammable. So yeah, a pilot has been unfortunately killed after a firefighting plane did crash in Portugal. That's very unfortunate. There's things there. It's yeah. You Yeah, you see it there, And also, Russia has been accused of shelling from captured Ukrainian nuclear plant. So basically, they're apparently keeping their weapons, around the nuclear plant. And yeah, it's kind of tense there. You do have a situation where nuclear power doesn't exactly necessarily do the best things for people who are in the surrounding area. So there is things there. What's going on there, which is unfortunate and concerning to say the least. And yes, a lot of the time we do see this thing as well. We have a cost of living crisis, but also a housing crisis. And one of the things that needs to be done is housing people, and one of those people are students. Now, a university has been given the go-ahead for a 358 new student bed accommodation. However, there have been objections from the local residents because of the location, where the residents have gone up and said that's against the local spirit. Well, you could argue, that's a bit, I guess maybe you don't want students in your area. That is fair, in my opinion. Students aren't always the nicest crowd to have if you're not a student, or even if you are a student, But yeah, it's a bit kind of, but you also have Elon Musk saying he wants to delay the start of a court battle between Twitter because basically he says that all goes ahead, offers to buy Twitter, signs an agreement to buy Twitter, and then doesn't want to go through with it because not it doesn't exactly have the best history. When it comes to stock and when it comes to purchases, not always the best when it comes to smart purchases, and in some cases makes other people foot the bill. For example, the Boring Company doesn't exactly have the best track record when it comes to anything there, because not exactly the best ideas, and people have had to foot the bill there, and they're not exactly nice thing there. So yeah, he wanted to delay the court battle. This is after Twitter said they would sue him. And I think that they're suing him to make him buy the company because he did sign an agreement, saying he would. So technically, they are just waiting for the money, and then they can hand it to him. He's agreed to purchase it. It's not like he's saying, I'm going to backtrack now. I'm not going to actually go ahead and purchase it. It's like, no, but you agreed to. You signed the contract. So, it's kind of hard to get out of that. So, obviously, they're suing him to do that. Whether or not that will lead to the billion quid that they will have, they'll get, and possibly damages for, just destroying the entire contract, or possibly forcing him to buy the thing he said he'd buy. And then I guess he'd have to sell it to another billionaire who wants a little plaything over free speech. Yeah, it's a bit kind of dodgy to be like, yes, it's for free speech purposes, definitely. Like, he doesn't exactly have the best history when it comes to free speech, so not necessarily the best fella to guard your free speech there. It's a bit like when a billionaire owns a news outlet. It's like, I don't think it's I mean, even if they're not pushing their own narrative, let's just make sure having people own an organization they didn't make, they don't work at, in the productions out of actual content, it's not always the best, because it means that you're kind of like a shadowy person there. So having someone own for them, yeah, not necessarily the best, but who knows? So yeah, maybe he'll have to. Maybe we'll force him to go ahead and buy it, and then he'll have to, if he wants to get the money back, sell it to somebody else. But it is possible. He is quite a wealthy man, and tends to be the case of the wealthy tend to get their own way. So might be the case that he'll get away with it. But probably he will. Let's face it, because that's the way it works sometimes. And Sri Lanka has begun to choose their new leader to replace the exiled ex-president. So yeah, the security around the parliament, of course, was heightened. Because you're choosing a new leader, so it's not exactly the best thing there. So yeah, you also have the situation where Ivana Trump has died of apparently accidental blunt impact injuries. Now, of course, you do have some conspiracy theorists going ahead and saying, she was murdered by, her wife, her husband, Donald Trump. So, you do have that. So, you have the usual sort of conspiracy theorists in there. And I guess you can say, well, what do you expect? And when it comes to a poll done on who do people think that they should lead the Tory party in England and who should effectively run the country of England, you have 28.2% in favour of Rishi Sunak, and a good enough chunk of 27.4% saying they do not know. 24% saying Penny Mordaunt. Okay. You also have the rest of the section made up of Tom, Liz, and Kimmy. So yeah, it's not exactly looking great for them. But of course, once again, when it does come to the Tory leadership race, it is the party that they're going for, not the people. I think the party would be foolish to just only think about themselves. Sure, they'll have ultimate power for 2 years, which is technically undemocratic, but whatever. But it does. You do have to be aware, while they are, they do have effectively a power to just elect a leader. But after those 2 years, if you're the wrong kind of leader, the people might, be not so happy with you. So there's that going on there. So yeah, not exactly the best things going there. But in other news, there is a book that has come out that has claimed the Queen has said, thank goodness Meghan's not coming, when it was coming to Philip's funeral. So yeah, a little bit offensive there. Not sure why exactly the Queen will be against Meghan now coming to the funeral. Maybe it might be the whole classist thing or the racist thing, The royal family don't exactly have the best history when it comes to, accepting people of literally anyone really. And Biden has been looking to use it to visit the Middle East he had to discuss the volatility of oil prices and outline his vision for Washington's role in the region. He's also said he will not walk away from the Middle East as he talks to the Arab leaders. Now, when you talk about the situation where you have, a somewhat interesting attitude where the former British Prime Minister, Tony Blair, who, is kind of a war criminal. I mean, basically started a war with a foreign country without that country really on up there, has called on the West to stand up to China. Now, yeah, not exactly the fella with the best history now, is he? If Tony Blair comes along and starts telling you to stand up against something or go towards something, you might want to reevaluate what you're against, because you're going to go, well, maybe China isn't as bad. But some people, would say, well, no, maybe that's kind of foolish, because there is sometimes, now and again, people who are not very nice and have done horrible, horrible, horrible things are sometimes right. Not because of that, but that's the thing there. But who truly knows? All I'd say is, don't think Tony Blair should really be trusted on anything. Just saying. But you also have a lot of things going on where the North Macedonian Parliament approves a deal to join the EU. So the EU hasn't actually accepted them within the EU, but they have, approved a deal to join the EU. So, maybe Macedonia or North Macedonia will be joining the EU in the next 20, 30 years. It takes a long time to join the EU now, but who knows? Or whatever the future, who knows what the future will hold? Oftentimes there are multiple countries that are kind of definitely going to permanently not enter, due to, disagreements. In fact, many countries have been in that position whereby, you have countries like England, or Ireland, or these other countries that they've been stopped from entering the EU because, the countries within the EU are gone, no, we're fine. We'd prefer not to let you into the EU, mostly because you commit a few sort of issues there. We don't really want to trust you there, which in some cases can be kind of fair, So it's a lot of things going on here where we're seeing the situation where a lot of news is happening. And one bit of news that is happening now is a situation in which you do have, all sorts of things going on where politics is heading to a position whereby you're seeing things such as, Sinn Féin, which is Irish, their vice president is to travel to the US for a series of meetings with Congress members. Now, Sinn Féin is not the majority party in Ireland. It might be by the polls, but not necessarily in government. So it's also, of course, in Northern Ireland, which is the key thing. And it's that set that are going to Stormont. So, and they do, of course, have the majority, and that is one of the key things, that they need to do to restore Stormont, is to have yourself your power sharing system. And one of the more interesting things is, of course, the fact that technically, if you were to exclude the strong DUP and the UP there, you would theoretically have with the Alliance Party and the non-unionist parties, if they were to officially label themselves as a unionist party, then maybe theoretically that could work. Who knows? Anyway, that's the stream. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.